Pillars of Eternity continues. Welcome back, everyone. Decided to squeeze another one in here. How's business?
Improved and getting better still.
His ears twitch and his face breaks into a wide smile.
Thanks to you and the White Forge, there's a great demand for my wares.
What is it?
If you're looking for Mila, tell Rose I haven't seen her. Someone needs to keep a better eye on that little bitch. Let's go check out the fishery.
Oh, it's you, it's true. You really saw the White Forge?
I didn't stop at looking.
Things are gonna be rough around here with Grindigon. He kept the place going. Sorry, I shouldn't bother you with that sort of thing. Can I get you anything?
Yeah, no thanks. Good on all that.
Blazes. What am I to do with all of these?
A well-built dwarven woman stands before you, one hand on her head and the other holding a few sheets of paper.
3 complaints of blights in Whitestone Hollow, and who are these people? Magran's faithful? Great. Another pack of religious zealots. It's like they're popping up out of the snow these days. She glances up at you. Oh, sorry, Luglog, just a little preoccupied. Things may have quieted down some since the ogres lately, but there's been no shortage of new trouble. I'll work for those interested. Just saying.
You mentioned blights?
The terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a grand blight that turned up after the avalanche. Real disaster. That's a great big heap of snow right on top of our main trade routes. We can't start fixing the roads until we get the blights out of there. Can't exactly ask you to bring back this thing's head, but word is the terror's last victim was a caravan master. Turns out the fellow always wore a certain brooch. Figure it's somewhat in that monstrosity's belly. Bring me the brooch and I'll take it as proof you handled the blight. Sound fair?
Who are Magran's faithful?
Bandits and horse thieves, far as I can tell, led by a woman named Rodwith. Problem is, the little group keeps growing and they've started tearing through some of the smaller villages. They were last spotted by Syrian Falls and rumor is they're headed in our direction. Stalwart's just getting its bearings. We can't afford this kind of trouble. Bring me Rodwath's head, and I'll see you a little richer for it.
Right, another bounty. The terror of Whitestone Hollow. And Magran's faithful. Hammon's Emporium.
Eight?
Ah. This place has been rebuilt. The shopkeeper's clothes even seem a little nicer, if not terribly warm, compared to what you've seen around Stelwart. His hair is immaculately coiffed, and his rosy cheeks look like they've been barely
touched by the mountain winds.
Welcome, welcome. I've got arms and armor, all top quality, or perhaps you'd like to see potions. Always a pleasure to meet respectable company out here anyways.
Alright, let's see what we got. A bunch of fine shit. The colored coat. That's racist. It's heavy armor. Grants wicked briars and endurance. When endurance drops below 51. All foes take 10 to 15 piercing damage. The Right Lord Laurel Taenring found himself in the unenviable position of being caught in a war between two branches of his own family, fought over hunting rights to certain lands that were jointly owned. While most family members found it easy to choose a side, Laurel could not bring himself to take up arms against anyone in his large extended family. He had this brigandine decorated in 2 tones, each representing the opposing family banners, and had the local spell rights imbued with a power to raise walls of briars, which he hoped to use to keep the sides divided on the battlefield. When the 2 sides met in combat, he rode out to the center of the battlefield, raising briar patches and waving to both sides, calling out for them to stop their mad feud. Unfortunately, his decorative brigandine had the opposite effect of which he intended, and each side read it as being the uniform of the other. He was felled by a rain of arrows from both directions. When his family realized he had died, they put their battle on hold and discussed peace. Then they began to argue about where Laurel would be buried, and the feud began anew. It doesn't even... it has exceptional on it. Maybe, maybe not. +3 resolve helmet. He carries many scars helm. +2 athletics. 50% while stunned. That's not that great. The sanguine plate helm. -50 stun duration. -50 knockdown duration. I need to buy some dragon scales, okay? Well, he's got a lot of shit, but I don't know that we're necessarily interested in any of that right now. We need super expensive stuff at this point.
Where have you got to this time?
This woman looks at you like she's used to hearing bad news. She shakes her head and holds up her hands before you can even begin. Look, you can tell Hammond that I ain't seen Milo all day, and besides, he ought to keep a better eye on his shop if he don't want little uns poking around. She folds her arms and plants her feet wide.
What's this about?
She blinks and suddenly is embarrassed. Oh, you're the one who opened up the battery, aren't you? It's really nothing someone like you needs to be concerned with. She hesitates before deciding to continue. Actually, it's my girl, Mila. She's been getting herself in all sorts of trouble, poking around that Hammond's Emporium. She rolls her eyes, but bites her lower lip nervously a moment later. But you ain't hear about that, huh?
You don't know where your child is?
She backs away like she's been slapped. I didn't say that. Unable to look you in the eyes, her gaze darts to the ground, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. But it's hard keeping track of her with all the commotion around here lately.
Yeah, I think I was right the first time. You don't know where your child is.
Rosie's eyes narrow down into slits, the edges brimming with water. She swallows hard and slowly exhales before continuing. She's been out for quite a while now. There's nothing new. She chews her lip, wondering. Still, I can't help but worry that she's gone and gotten herself into some trouble. If you could keep an eye open or two for her while you're in town, I'd greatly appreciate it. Shrug and vaguely nod. Well, Rosie raises an eyebrow, unsure of how to interpret your body language. If you do see her, please send her back this way. I'd appreciate it.
Is there some place she likes to run off to?
She often takes off to Hammond's Emporium. Has a problem with looking at things instead of touching them. Hammond's been on my back the past few days to keep her away.
Might her father know where she's gone?
Please don't worry him, he's in enough trouble at his job already. She smiles weakly. Truly, all of us appreciate what you did opening the battery backup. Folks like my logger are making good money patching up all the damage out front. Please don't set his mind spinning about where Mila is.
She watches you for some reaction, then pauses awkwardly at your silence, chewing her lip and idly tapping her boot against a small chunk of ice. We leave her with her thoughts and her worries. Trying to pick up all the side questicles here. I thought Gudrun was supposed to give me one, but apparently not yet. Should be one back here in Gruff's Rest, though.
Please, someone has to do something.
Piss off, Kern. I got enough problems.
Decades I've lived here. We've worked and drunk together, and not one of them will lift a finger.
The dwarf's face is damp and blotchy. His outburst seems to take something out of him. He sags, his lined features showing his exhaustion.
I'm sorry, I have no heart for conversation. I'm sure someone in here will drink to your health. What are you whining about?
Kern gives you a sour look, but it's gone quickly, replaced with a thoughtful expression.
Hey, you're the one who opened the battery, aren't you? You've got one of Reginald's letters, and you came here. Maybe you could help me. I've done something terrible, and I'm not sure I can fix things. This neighbor of mine, Hattie, we've not gotten on the best of times with that land dispute, losing half my property. Things have gotten out of hand. Kill him! Take your land back. Problem solved. What? No, that's just my problem. I was in deep in my cups the other night. Got to talking with a stranger. Mentioned this trouble with Hattie. He offered to take care of things for me. I thought I'd put a scare into Hattie. Run him off, chase him away as goats. I didn't know he was a Blake Walker. A madman. I was half drunk. Thought Sylvester meant he'd speak on my behalf. Put a scare into Hattie, not kill him. I tried to call him off once I realized. He laughed and said that doesn't happen. Please, you've got to help me. Nobody else here is willing to take him on. Even for coin I'm offering. Sounds like he's solving your problem to me. This isn't what I wanted. I'm not a murderer. What do you want me to do? Turn your wrath on his paladins. As for Hattie, just don't hurt him, please. Wait, you hired a man to kill Hattie? Never to kill him. I was angry, drunk. Hattie's nearly ruined me. That doesn't mean I want his family dead.
See, you get some benefit here being a gold pack knight or a bleak walker.
I'll see what I can do. Thank you. It's all I'm asking. You're the first one to so much as try. Hattie lives out east in Whitestone Hollow. Please hurry.
Ah, shit, I should have rested while I was in there. Let's get a little rusty rest on.
Got rid of that little fella, eh? Take this with my thanks. Didn't need his trouble around here. Anyway, what brings you back? Top quality bear pelts on every bed. You won't be disappointed.
+2 dexterity, might, and constitution. That's what I'm talking about.
Shining bright from on high, she bears
Running Guild never said negotiating trade agreements was part of the job.
Run for the mayor, they said. It's an easy job, they said. Should have stayed in the mines.
He notices you approach and his eyes widen.
Lug, what brings you back to Stelwart? You're always welcome here. He beams at you.
What was that about negotiation?
There's a group of merchants from Divine Spay interested in a trade agreement from Stelwart. The representative Nesta is staying at Gruff's Rest. I've been avoiding her because I have zero experience with treaties and contracts and all that shit. I was a miner, not a diplomat. Maybe you could talk to her on my behalf.
He looks at you hopefully.
As mayor, I'll give you full authority to negotiate on Stelwart's behalf.
What makes you think I'd do any better at negotiating than you?
The hero of Stelwart, the man who reclaimed the White Forge. Of course you do better than me.
I'll go talk to her.
Thank you. As I said earlier, you can find her in Gruff's Rest. I'm pretty busy, so unless there's something else.
How's Stelwart doing these days?
Well, we've rebuilt the western palisade, is fixed, and some fancy merchants set up shop here in Kade's house used to be. He gestures at the temple. We've also got to prop a temple to Abaddon again. I've understood why the Ondrites stuck around Stelwart in the first place.
I might know a little something about that.
So I think we have all the possible quests here besides the one that the merchant down there by the wagon is supposedly gives out. That might not kick in until later, I don't know. I just have a list of side quests and who gives them, that's all I know. Alright, we gotta find Ness T. Where's Ness T at? There she is, there's Ness T.
Ugh, I thought I ordered ale. She might have brought me the dishwater by accident. She sighs, or maybe on purpose, you never can tell.
Tarfor sent me. I'm here to negotiate the trade treaty on Stelwart's behalf.
Finally, I was beginning to wonder if Tarfos had forgotten about me entirely. My first stop in Stelwart's fishery, my clients are concerned it's a liability to Stelwart's prosperity. I'll meet you outside its front door.
Huh? Oh, fuck. I gotta follow this twat around town? Fuck me running. Guys! Do you hear that? Off in the distance. It's a familiar song. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm gonna sing along. And so should you. Oh God, what have I gotten myself into? My name is Lug. I'm here in a town called Stelwart. Now I'm on white ground in a shit town that smells like a fish fart. Yes, it do. My name is Lug. I'm a ruler of Kanua. Yes, I am. I rebuilt all that shit. I'm here with my party, and we party till we're retardy. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Lug, shut up. We have an adventure to continue. You can sing later. Fine, God. Just trying to have some fun. Well?
Alright, Lug, you gotta keep him under control, but, yes, there will be a Pillars of Eternity Lug song, possibly co-starring Ron Stock. At the end of the Let's Play, gotta give me some more time to fine-tune it. That was just a quick improv off the top of the old noggin. Although I do like the first line. Let's see what else we can find. We have the mines open, I think, now. I swear there's something going on strange in the mines there. Don't know what the fuck's going on, but if you want to go check it out, maybe.
No, please! You've got the wrong man! I don't remember any of this!
Quiet! We'll get the truth out of you soon enough. Take him away!
A stern-faced woman approaches you. Her already impressive frown is only emphasized by her slight underbite. She folds her arms.
Be careful where you wander. These mines are still crawling with all sorts of pest. We haven't been able to clear them out yet. Of course, you have experience with that sort of thing, I hear. Guess we have you to thank for opening the battery. I'm Ismay, the foreman. Been keeping busy around here since the battery's fires were lit. A little busier than I'd like sometimes.
If you got a point, get to it. I am Mighty Luglug. I don't have time for your bullshit.
Not one for small talk, I see. You probably saw Gamel getting carted off, found him by the body of another miner, Samuth. We've lost quite a few miners here recently. Most just vanished. Samuth's the first corpse to stick around. We may have caught Gamel, but we haven't been able to find the bodies. I need someone to look into it for me. I've got my hands full just trying to keep this place from falling apart. You'll find out what happened to my miners, and I'll set aside a cut of our next payment for you.
Tell me about Gamel.
Don't know him so well, certainly never pegged him for a killer. I'd say you're better off questioning him yourself. See if he'll tell you where he stashed the corpses.
What do you know about the victims? Samuth?
Poor Samuth is body up the tunnel to the east. Folks say you've got a knack for making sense of corpses. Like the Dinwood Rose sorts, right?
I'll look into it.
I appreciate the help. We certainly need it.
How are the mines holding up?
The beasts aren't going away anytime soon. Now that Gamel's gone and killed somebody, folks are probably starting to think we should just abandon these tunnels again.
Why are they so important?
The demand for oil's gone up since you opened up the battery. Everyone wants their own shiny pieces of Sturgeon steel. Thing is, the battery was hit pretty hard by the tremors. If the battery mines collapsed, we're the only game in town.
More questicles. I don't think we're going to dive up into that yet.
Of course.
I think I'm going to fuck around and try to get some of these NPC side quests done. Yeah, there's a campfire. I need to find a cipher. We don't have one in our party. Lord Brandwigger is able to successfully rout the rebel rousers with the mercenaries you helped supply. The locals will soon not forget. Upcoming meeting with the representative of the Fisher Crane tribe. I gotta go back to my lair here in a little bit.
I want to trace a man who might have touched this item. Yes, I believe I can be of assistance here. The imprint isn't fresh, but it's well preserved for the most part. If you're looking for someone, your rather unusual gift may be of value here. Images can be fleeting. Your target will be easy to identify by the makeup of his soul. I will share what I see. It will be to you to make sense of it. You'll pardon my presence in your mind, all for a good cause. He takes you by the hand, holding the steel sun in the other. Now clear your mind of all wayward thoughts. You close your eyes and concentrate. The sun is bright in your mind's eye, warm with the pulse of collective experience and noisy with the thoughts of the past, of battle, of faith, and of home. You drift from voice to voice, thought to thought, Eddar's soul a vibrant signature with which to locate his brother. One voice stands out amidst the din, brassy and earnest, a shade brighter than Eddar's, but unmistakably of the same construction. You have no image of its owner, but his journey is imprinted with the points and curves of the steel sun, and in your mind it opens before you as a path stretching both southward to the Gilded Vale and northward over the uneven terrain that joins the Deerwood to the Riad Cirrus. You trace the path back to its origin, far back as you can find, gilded over plains and hillsides to one room home in the Gilded Vale with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. The path is faint here, its distance and time rendering images blurry and details scarce. From Gilded Vale, it follows a road toward Madden Bridge, reaching the gates of Defiance Bay before diverting abruptly, cutting northward in a beeline for Riad Cirrus. The path leads to Riad Syrian city, regal and austere in the austere imperial style. It winds through the streets and climbs a grand set of stairs into a stately building, passing through pointed archways into what appears to be a throne room. Upon the throne sits a man whose head is pure, blinding light, and his gaze turns towards you. The light drowns out all else. Its voice carries the force of thunder, but its words are impossible to make out in the imprint, echoes of echoes. The voice and light fade, and the path bends backward, carrying you along to the barracks, and back southward, marching into Deerwood and skirmishing along the way. Upon one battlefield, the imprint is vivid. You see a Riad Syrian standard topped with a steel sun, clutched in the hands of a fallen soldier. You see a young man in Riad Syrian armor, with Eddard straw-colored hair, race toward the standard and lift it. The path you've been following clear to see beneath his feet, and his hand brushes the steel tip. You can hear his thoughts racing in a blur, and they are of his God and his country, and a brother he hopes is far away from this place. In an instant the thoughts are gone as well as the man, and the standard is passed to another soldier. You pick the path up again as it meanders south and disintegrates in the shadow of Cleoban Rilag. You open your eyes.
Anything? Looked like you were working real hard there.
Your brother got as far as Defiance Bay before turning to Red Syrians instead. He met Wedwin there. Then he enlisted.
What'd he talk about with Widewind?
Widewind's head was a beam of light.
I figured that. Odin and me had heard enough stories from his uprising to know it wasn't just some tall tale. Doesn't mean he was Aethys. It could have been some wizard's trick. It's what they talked about that's important. What'd they say?
I don't know.
That's not funny. Come on. That metal sun, my brother touched it. You saw where he went. Now what'd he talk about with Widewin? Why'd my brother fight for Raid Saris?
I really don't know.
I guess that's it.
Edder's mouth hangs open and his eyes glaze, his forehead creased between his eyebrows. He rakes his teeth over his lower lip. His voice is barely a whisper.
We'll find some other way to know why he did what he did.
I don't think we will. What will we do? Look for more war relics? We were lucky to find this one. Soldiers that fought with him are long dead. The battle was a massacre. Whatever Aethys knows, he's not talking to anyone.
We can go now. I've seen what I needed to see. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that there's a happy ending to Edder's side quest. I wish I could have been of more help. You have my sympathies. As often as an item shows us what we need to know, it will disappoint. My files are full of cases that have run cold. On bad days, I used to think often of leaving, applying my skills to something less confounding. And as you can see, the quest is now considered complete. We were able to confirm that Edder's brother, Woden, fought for Riad Sarens, and even met Edwin himself prior to enlisting, but his actual reasons for doing so were lost. Edder will likely never know what inspired his brother to change his allegiance. Unless maybe we possibly find something in the expansion or game 2, I don't know. Hopefully there's some kind of follow-up to that. Ring finger added. 25% experience. Needhen was a Glanfathan murderer who was notorious for both his brutality and ability to avoid capture by the tribe's best hunters. When he was finally captured and put to death, his body was buried in a secret place near Cleobanrilog. Uriel had given the unusual recommendation in hopes that the Engwethan ruin would capture the killer's soul and prevent it from returning to the wheel. During a recent cleansing celebration, an Orlan child stumbled across Needhen's grave. Not realizing what she had found, she told her parents, who guessed what it was, and in turn told other members of their tribe. Within a day, Needhen's burial site had been plundered by a few foolhardy Glanfathans, the body carried away for ritual purposes. All that remained was the ring finger from his right hand. The Anam father opposed the use of Needhen's body for preparing sacred objects, and will reward anyone who can return it to them. We'll send Mainha.
Well?
Well, we had some other shit to do here in Defiance Bay, actually. Crucible Keep and First Fires, and bless the hammer at the shrine of Abaddon. Iron and Flame. Well, business brings me to the keep? You place Maska's forge hammer at the base of the shrine. For a moment, nothing happens. Then you hear the distant ring of hammers striking anvils. Tens, then hundreds, then thousands, all in unison. Maska's forge hammer suddenly flares with light, and the chores of hammering fades away. Chorus! You retrieve the hammer, and though its appearance hasn't changed, it feels heavier somehow. Seda looks like she's had a bath and a few square meals. She smiles shyly.
Good, glad you don't stink anymore. Later, Dingleberry.
Head on over to Magrin's Fork. Might as well get this questicle done. It's payday. Alright. More fucking fog of war. Beautiful.
So much for you.
Do we have a bounty for this dude? Graham fell the Wayfarer. A motley gathering stands at the crossroads. At first glance, the person at the head of the group seems more monster than man. Two large and curling horns emerge from the side of his skull, forming a hardened carapace that is pocked like coral. Oh, he's one of me. He's a flaming godlike, maybe? Down its center, the strange shell splits, revealing the ash-gray skin of a man's face, obscured above the nose. The horns might seem a mere helmet, save that in several places you cannot tell where the flesh ends and the bone begins. From the neck down, however, this is, by all appearances, a human man, clad in the fine armor, the same dark shade of his features. The man smiles, revealing long white teeth from which the gums have retracted. Despite his masked eyes, he looks unerringly in your direction.
Hail, traveler, and well met.
He turns to Pelagina, smiling all the wider.
How now, pretty lady? Had I your patron, I'd be a dark bird still, but all the more handsome for it.
Patron? That's one way of putting it. Delusional, but we all deal with it in our own way.
He laughs quietly.
Are you enjoying the fresh air?
He gestures to his men and women behind him.
Are doing much the same.
You seem well armed for scholars.
But we are scriveners of aspiring priests, but rather scholars of death. Well, better to witness it than the road. These paths are not very safe. For instance, I have heard tell that there are certain groups comprised of individuals most skilled and handsome, who, depending upon the monetary fortunes of strangers, will unseam these poor devils from nose to nave, and thereby send them to the next life. I think our talk is done. Kill that one slow. I want to see the light leave him.
You got done fucked up, big guy.
I like it.
Love. That's no
You guys are pretty fucked.
So much for you.
As you prepare to strike a final blow, Granville raises a hand.
Wait, wait! You have won the day. Mercy, traveler, I beg you.
Yes, mercy might be too easy a death for you. You will spend some time in the dungeons of Cadnua.
As you wish it, then.
I mean, fuck, I built the prison. I might as well
What is it?
fill her up. Then again, what if he had some cool shit on his body? So I looked it up, and all he comes with are some boots called Dead Man Stands, which delay unconsciousness for 3 seconds. So, meh. Meh. If he had some badass, like, fucking armor like they described it, it'd be different. The temperature around you begins to rise, and before long, you feel as if you're standing in the front of an open forge. Maska's hammer begins to glow red hot. Suddenly, the ground near the shrine erupts into columns of living fire. Flame blights in the sky. Winged shapes dive towards you, smoke trailing from their wide-open jaws. Fight that shit, son.
Still alive?
Holy the fuck? Didn't see that coming.
Still alive? I need something sharp.
You got toasted and roasted, Drake.
What?
Seriously, Lug, go to your fucking normal gun or your normal weapon. What's wrong with you? These fucking crossbow bolts. Rage!
What is it? Yes? As you wish.
Watch out, it's wolves!
I'm ready.
As you wish.
Well, Eddar's done with his quest. We can replace him with the Devil of Karak for a little bit. See what she's all about. She's a fighter, so she'd do well to replace him temporarily anyways. I think in the end I'll probably get rid of either Aloth or Pelagina. Pelagina is not exactly a good paladin. She's kind of more like neutral.
Gelade. Well done. A formidable fortress in the old style. We don't build them like this anymore, you know. Not by the sea. Too vulnerable to cannons.
I like them all. I'm attached to him. Let's go see what this guy wants. Greetings, Lord Luglog. My name is Barol. If you have time, I have an urgent matter I'd like to discuss. I've been tasked with meeting with a representative of the Fisher Crane tribe near Thane Borg. It is my hope to come to peaceful terms. Unfortunately, I haven't had much practice with the Glenfathan language, and the Fisher Crane are by nature very reclusive. I fear that circumstances are ripe for a misunderstanding. You yourself, I hear, have some dealings with the Glenfathans. I would welcome any assistance or advice you can offer. I'll have someone escort you. Oh, with whom will I be traveling? Heraveus is a Glenfathan. His knowledge of the region should be helpful. Thank you, my lord. We'll set out right away.
As you wish.
I'm not gonna mess with searching my chest until later. I don't think there's actually anything in there we're gonna use.
Gelade. Well done. A formidable fortress in the old style. We don't build them like this anymore, you know. Not by the sea. Too vulnerable.
See you when I see you.
Of course, we gotta level the shit out of her. Oh, she's a rogue, so we're gonna end up getting rid of Aloth, I guess. We need to do Aloth's quest, because we don't want to replace a fighter with the rogue. We'll go ahead and level her up, though. So she's gonna, obviously, we're gonna bang her out in mechanics. Probably want to do some backstab with her and start keeping her in the dark in old stealthy mode. Oh, and she's gonna need stuff. Hobbling the enemy. Dirty fighting. 10% of chance. No, that's good. Hits 10%. Yep. Let's do that. Allows the character to temporarily turn invisible. Enemies cannot detect invisible characters, and attacks made from invisibility automatically count as a sneak attack. Attacking, casting a spell, using a special ability, or using an item will end the invisible state. That sounds like something we're going to want. Modifies dirty fighting. Improves the rogue's skill with devious maneuvers, increasing the percentage of the rogue's hits that are converted to critical hits when using dirty fighting. So I guess it brings it up to plus 20. Sounds like we're going to want that. Deep wounds, 3.4 raw damage. The rogue looks for an opening to counterattack in combat. Incoming melee attacks that target deflection and miss or graze have a chance of allowing an instant full attack. Riposte. Only active with melee weapons equipped. That's pretty good too. Looks to finish off an injured opponent with a precise deadly strike. Full attack 14 to 20. Accuracy versus damage. 2 per rest. Some good stuff here. Targets 3.4 raw damage for 3 seconds for an 11 seconds. It's expertise in the art of pain leads all slash piercing and crush damage caused by the rogue to also do raw damage over time. I dig it. I think we're going to want Shadow and Beyond so we can instant Shadow. %75% of incoming grazes converted to misses. Reflex only. 50% of incoming hits converted to grazes. Sounds like a good little defense. I'm not sure what style we're going to do with her. 2-weapon? Sounds badass. She is a thief. Superior deflection is always good. %20 of hits converted to crits against targets with low endurance. Need to find out actually. Oh, we got a lot of levels to go with her, it looks like. Comes with a pole arm, which is interesting. She's 4 cruel and 4 aggressive. Or no, that's Lug Lug. I don't think my party has that. We need personal. Here we go. That doesn't tell me shit. It's like we can customize her any way we want. So I would like to give her dual wielding. We got that sick dagger, and I'm sure we got some other short-bladed weapons we can give her. So she can go into stealth mode and backstab the shit out of someone. I'm gonna save that just so I can get my mechanics up. We don't have a true dual wielder, so this will be interesting. I think that's a great ability. There's a bunch here, though. Anything passive is normally pretty badass. Alright, we want to get our mechanics up to 12. Should be able to cap it there. Gotta give her bloody slaughter. Boom! Smoke cloud, death blows. Allows a rogue to size up a target's battlefield position, making sneak attack more effective when the target is afflicted by 2 or more conditions that allow a sneak attack. Fearsome strike, that sounds fun. Weakening. Distraction, persistent distraction. Whenever a rogue is contributing the flank affliction on a target, the victim is also distracted. That's probably pretty good, since I'm going to be coming up behind a lot. The rogue instantly switches positions with one nearby target, canceling engagement if in effect. Automatic when targeting an ally. Withering Strike. The rogue aims for a vital area, inflicting extra damage and weakening the target. We probably want to get all these per encounters and per rest so that we can have these abilities. Fearsome Strike is only once per rest. It's good to use against the big guys. But this is something that we can use over and over. Not sure how often that's going to come into play with the 2 or more conditions that allow sneak. Let's go ahead and grab this. Might as well get that bonus deflection. Shadow step and sap. Stun them for 5.5 seconds. 2 per encounter. Stun is always good. By stepping through the between, a rogue is able to seemingly teleport across the battlefield for a few moments, returning to his or her starting position when the effect is ended. I'm not a big fan of the once per rest thing. I'm not going to be using that a lot because I don't rest a lot. I'm going to go for the stunning. Increases the chance to cause an interrupt with any damaging attack. Alright. Welcome, Devil of Karok. So I'm assuming, yeah. She's stuck with that armor, but we can give her everything else. But she's a dual wielder, so we're going to give her a couple nasty daggers. We'll play with her around with her more, I guess, later. I think I'm going to actually, like, swap her out back for now. Get Eder back, because we're going to end up replacing the Loth with her. But I did want to get her leveled up and ready. And I want to figure out what other armor pieces I'm going to give her as well. So I think we'll stick to getting some more companion quests done in the next video. That way we can get the devil in our party and start getting used to how she works for all that in-game content. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video here. It's creeping up on Christmas. Once again, happy holidays for those that celebrate it. Have a great new year. You may or may not see another video before then. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.